Howdy everybody. Some thoughts on the Tascam Model 2400. A few people have asked me on the channel. They're asking me because I've done some comparison videos between the Tascam Model 24, which I've owned several of, and the Multitrack L20, which I've owned several of. Plus I've owned four tracks, three kinds of four tracks, like back in the day, cassette four tracks. Boss BR 1200, Boss BR 1600, Roland VS 2000, Roland VS 2480. I've played with the Yamaha AW16. I've played with the Zoom R20 and their R16 and their R24 and the Porta Studio, the Tascam. And the thing is, I've played with like 20 trackers. I'm a tracker guy. Currently right now, that's not a tracker, that's a Fender Tonemaster Pro. Currently I don't have a tracker in the house. It's a sad state of affairs. It's a long story. You can go back in my videos. Well, we're going to get into it now anyway, because we're going to talk about the Tascam Model 24. But I'm a tracker guy because I can't look at the screen. You open Reaper like this, and I can't sit with my mouse and my computer and my laptop and look up at this screen, which, you could say, turn the screen off and don't look. It's like, well, it's not that easy, because you're pressing spacebar. You're pressing record. I'm a tracker guy. Historically, in the last 25 years, I get more work done on a tracker. So I don't have one right now, but we'll get into what's what. You guys have asked me what's up with this. You like this? You're gonna get this, and I just haven't had time. Mike at I Love Recording, shout out, black and fluffy. Shout out to Mike over at I Love Recording. He went through it, so that was my best first information to feed in. I just didn't have time, so I watched his video a few times. I suggest you go do the same thing, because he gives tutorials and lessons on the Tascam Model 24 and the Tascam Porta Studios. Plus, he's recently went back in time and bought, I can't remember the model number right now, but anyway, he's going to have some exciting new content on some older trackers that are considered the best trackers that ever came out. So it's very worth going to see Mike at I Love Recording here on YouTube. But yeah, that was my first foray into any information coming my way. So between his videos and the little bit that I read, I was like, it ain't worth the price. I'm not doing it. I don't like what they did. I would have preferred other changes. Over here on the useless channel, I'm going to take the phone out of the holster here. Over here on the useless channel, yes, I'm calling it the useless channel. They took my beloved RCAs away. Well, look at my desk. RCA. That's my CD player. And that's my record player right here, okay? So not a huge deal. If I had this machine, I just got to convert these to 1/4 inch. It's not a huge deal, but I did love that on the Tascam Model 24. You can see here. Load. You can see up here on the Tascam Model 24, it's got the two RCAs at the top, and then it's got this stereo 1/8 inch. So I could either go RCA or... Anyway, I like that. And if and when I get a Model 2400, you're not going to get that. Can I just make this bigger? Yeah. They took that away on the useless channel. So now the useless channel really is just Bluetooth. But it's got, it's still got a couple 1/4 inches, which are probably TRS, I'm almost certainly. So, guess what? That's your reverb return. It just is. I mean, what else are you going to do with that channel now? So, anyway, so my initial thing, if anyone asked me quick and they're like, well, what are you going to do? What do you think? 2400. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't like what I'm seeing so far. And it's more money. Like Mike over at I Love Recording and myself, we've figured out that this thing's pretty much going to be just over $3,000 Canadian with tax. It's about $3,500. Now I can get one out of Sweetwater for a couple $100 off that, because Canadians pay more for everything. Because we just don't get together as a consumer group and say we're tired of being screwed for the last 50 years. But anyway, that's a whole other video. So, what were my problems with the Model 24, and does the 2400 solve them? 2400, I don't like how heavy it was. I recently looked up the weight, and now I forget what it is already, but something in the realm of 25 pounds. Well, the 2400 is even heavier. It is, and don't give it to me in kilograms, because even though I'm a Canadian, kilograms does not mean anything to me. Come on. Where is it? Give it to me in good old standard. Height and width. Are you really not going to give me the weight? Oh my God. Are you kidding me? You're not going to give me the weight. Well, whatever. Just the 2400's heavier. All right. So that's one thing it doesn't do for me. The useless channel loses my RCAs and my 1/8 inch. So that doesn't help me any. The biggest thing this does for me, that the 2400, which was a problem for me on the Model 24, is that this right here. I'll take this out again. That. Because I was complaining the other day, I had the Model 24 sitting right here. I had to go down there and put 6 mics on the drums. Then I had to run down here and check the levels in a loud room with loud people. Well, you can't be done. You can't have the board here. And why is it here? Well, because the headphone amp was here, and the neve preamps are here, and the compressor's here. So you could say, well, why don't you just pick it up and move it over there? Well, because all this crap is just remote metering. Remote metering fixes a big problem in the Model 24 for me, into the Model 2400. So what is that worth? That feature? Well, it's worth another $100 for sure. Another problem I had with the Model 24 was there was no insert on the master bus. If you watch my videos, you'll know that that's a problem for me. This thing, the Model 2400, has an insert on the master bus. What am I going to do with that? Main, send, return. Well, what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to run it into this Apollo, into my Universal Audio plugins, and I'm going to go get my tape sim effect, and I'm going to go get my precision bus compressor. That was a problem for me with the Model 24. There was no way to bus master, to put effects on the master bus. No, distortion or tape effect or compressor or pull tech or anything, I guess you could run them through there, but you'd have to have all that hardware. Well, frick, that stuff's $1,100, $1,500, $2,000 a pop, right? And you'd have to have 2 of them for that. And I had the Rupert Neve tape sims down here in the 500 series. They were fantastic, but they were really expensive. I had to get rid of them. Couldn't just have 2,500, almost 2,600 Canadian and tape sim around here. So I got it in the digital world, but I can't use it with this. Well, now I might as well get rid of this tab. This tab does nothing for me. Now I got it here. You could put it through here. That, and the MIDI's fine. I already had interfaces that do MIDI. I've got a Focusrite, what do you call it, a Scarlett that has MIDI. So I'm fine, but I could see you guys appreciating that MIDI right there. Lots of aux, more sub outputs for more external hardware. So yeah, these guys have taken this 2400 a whole step further of get off your computer, which, I like a lot. My whole thing that I can't wrap my head around, and maybe this machine lets me wrap my head around it, is I want to write the song on the board, record the song on the board, mix the song on the board, maybe even fake master the song on the board. I want to do everything on the board. Like if I say no computer, I really want no computer. No computer. So yeah, this thing does fix those 2 main gripes for me. Again, to review, it's remote metering. So I could have had my phone over there on these drums, or in that room, that brown door there, I could have had my phone and I could check my level from 30 feet away. And who knows? I don't know how this thing works. If it's Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or whatnot. If it's Wi-Fi, you could be checking them levels in Japan when the board is in Mexico. Like I don't really know how this works yet. Like what is that? That looks like a. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to be implemented. Even if it was just on a PC, I could at least put it on this computer screen and move this and shine that computer screen all the way down there, and I can hit my kick and my snare and see my levels. So that fixes that problem. And then the master bus inserts, so it fixes that problem. So there's two major problems for me. It still has the damn split stereo tracks, which if you watch my show, I hate more than anything. What that means is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Well, that's fine. I could write my songs in 12 tracks. The Beatles did Sgt. Pepper in 4. What's your excuse? The Beatles did the White Album in 8. So what's my excuse? There is no excuse. Just get some work done, I say to myself. It also has a compressor on the master out, which is cool. I hear the screen is slightly bigger. That's hard to determine from these pictures. It's got 2 headphones out, which is cool for you and a buddy. It's got all them aux sends. It's more subgroups. Yeah, just so you guys ask, what do I think, and am I going to get one? Put it this way: had I seen one in a store by now, which I know they just came out and no one has them in stores, but had I seen one, there'd be one sitting here right now, guaranteed. So if I see one in the next 6 months, I'm grabbing one. It fixes enough problems. As for the heaviness of the thing, that it's heavier, it's 30 pounds. I'm pretty sure 30 pounds. I just gonna have to deal with it. I just gotta pick it up and move it over there, or the metering will make it so I don't have to pick it up or move it over there, right? Because the metering kind of solves the heavy thing. If the metering app works like it should, you don't have to pick it up. Just leave it on your desk. But pick it up, bring it to a friend's house. Sure, it's 30 pounds instead of 25 like the Model 24, instead of 8 like the Zoom L20, right? But so yeah, I can just sum my ramble up with this. If I had seen one by now, I'd own it. If I see one in the next 6 months, I'm buying it the moment I see it. And what I've done is I've reached out to Sweetwater and another a Canadian place. Good luck with that. And I basically just put I hit that button, tell me when it's in. So I got my email back from my Sweetwater guy. He's like, I'll tell you when it's in. And then I got an email confirmation back from the Canadian thing. We'll tell you when it's in. I'm like, okay. So have I ordered one? No. Because I ain't paying now and finding out that these things are not coming out until 2025 or some damn thing, right? Like, does anyone have? Yeah, people do have these, actually. I've seen people with them. I've seen YouTube people with them. So, just a little side tip, too. I guess this compression knob, somebody reached out to Tascam and asked them, what is the ratio on that? And they said it is a 3-to-1, one knob. And he had a little conversation with Tascam that makes me more confident in using that. I was always like, that's for people who don't have nice compressors, that are at a bar and they have, what are they going to do? But now I'm like, no, I might actually just use that on recordings. And now you got inserts galore. That's the other thing I didn't look at all these inserts on all the channels. Now I don't use inserts, but I could start, I don't know. This could be it for me. This could be the one board to rule them all, right? But, well, we'll see. So what do I think? I think get one to my house as fast as possible. That's what I think. Well, thanks for watching, guys.